Welcome back, folks, to City Hall Live. And with us right now, a special guest and an old friend, KAMAJOU TADFOR. How you doing today, my man?
I'm fine, Joe. How are you?
Good, brother.
Thanks for inviting me to your show.
Thanks for coming on, man. So I know you're a busy guy, very busy guy, because you have a big event coming up this week.
Saturday.
This Saturday. It's the sixth annual Fiesta Fella celebration, correct?
You're right. The sixth annual Fiesta Fella. I can't believe it. It's 6 years already.
That's crazy, man. That is crazy. So what is Fiesta Fella?
Well, Fiesta Fella, in short, we say is the Santa Fe Festival of African Arts and Culture.
Okay.
I mean, that's to put it as
simply as
possible.
Yeah.
We have Africans here in Santa Fe, and we're celebrating our arts and our culture and our involvement in the Santa Fe society.
That's right, and it's a great opportunity for the folks, to come out the community, come out and see what the African culture is all about, and in the community too, of what it's become living here in Santa Fe.
Exactly, it's a great opportunity for us to celebrate ourselves as Africans, and it's also a great opportunity for us to involve the Santa Fe community and to engage them, the Santa Fe community, our community, and just to demonstrate that we are part of what is happening here. And like I said, it's really, really, time passes, Yeah. Time passes, it's 6 years, I remember.
No, it's great because there'll be food, there'll be dancing, there'll be music.
Yes, we're going to be demonstrating, I would say, all aspects of African culture.
Okay.
And of course, let me not claim everything. I can't speak for all of Africa.
Yeah.
But we are going to celebrate as many aspects of the African world as we can.
Yeah.
There's definitely going to be music. There's definitely going to be dancing. There's definitely going to be food.
Yes.
And I think those are the most visible and outward aspects of any culture, as you can find.
Yeah.
When the people are happy, when they're sad, they sing, they dance. When people are eating, that's how we live. So yes, there's going to be a variety. There's going to be creation of art in real time. We're going to have artists. People who make clothes. We're going to have fabric designers. We're going to have
crafts.
Yeah, all right. Crafts, sculpting, pottery, poetry.
Gotcha.
So we're just going to be putting ourselves out there for the Santa Fe community to see who we are, get to know us better, and get to appreciate what we do.
And it's a free event. The music is free. The dancing's free. But there's obviously you got to pay for food, and if there's crafts for sale, you got to pay for crafts.
Oh yes,
and stuff. But yeah, I mean the event is free. It's at the Santa Fe Rail Yard.
Joe, I'm telling you, this is going to be. We have 10 musical acts going to be on stage. We start at 10 o'clock in the morning and we'll go on till 6 o'clock in the evening.
That's awesome.
We're going to have...
so the event's from 10 to 6?
The event's from 10 to 6.
Events from 10 to 6.
We're going to have Santa Feans, not just Africa. We're going to have Santa Feans also helping us to celebrate our culture. So the bands are going to be local bands from here who are involved, who have been engaged in African music throughout their professional career.
Yeah.
So we're going to have African bands from here. We're going to have African bands from Africa. We're going to have sculptors from here. We're going to have sculptors from Africa. It's actually an interchange and engagement in the community that we are demonstrating.
No, that's great. And that's this Saturday, October 15th from 10 to 6. Bring the family out. It's definitely a good thing.
It's a very, very, very family-friendly event. I mean, every year that we've been there, we've had people bring their children. Actually, we have activities for children. We're going to have painting, drum making.
Oh, wow.
And drum playing, that are specifically designed to engage the children. We're going to have people teaching them how to play African rhythms, teaching them how to build African drums. We have people painting. We have pottery wheel. The children will play with the pottery wheel. And so it's a family event. It's a family event.
Yeah, and I know I had you on for about a half hour last week on our radio show, and we have limited time now. But I think it's very important that people know before we go. That doesn't mean you have to be short-winded with this.
No, no, that's-
but I want. But where did you get the motivation to do this? Because Fiesta Fela was actually a musician and a political activist in Africa.
Oh yes, oh yes. Well, as you know, we don't shy from it. Fiesta Fela, we are already putting Fela's name out there. Fela was an African musician, and apart from anything else that we recognize him for, he actually created a brand new genre of music called Afrobeat.
Okay.
And Afrobeat music, we've got American bands who have nothing to do with Africa, but they play Afrobeat music.
Yeah.
One of the most famous is Antibalas from New York.
Yeah.
They tour the country all the time. I mean, they're a very famous band, you know, Antibalas. And there are others. There are Japanese kids. I call them kids because I'm a bit, but they're Japanese.
You're 39. And,
right.
Exactly.
They're Japanese musicians, they're Chinese musicians, Australian musicians, not to mention American and European musicians who have chosen the genre of Afrobeat to express themselves. And just for that, Fela would have been well known. But for me personally, I really have this inspiration from Fela because he is the one who taught me that we can speak truth to power.
Yeah.
In Africa, power is very, very, established, and you don't argue with them. I mean, like you grow up respecting your father grows up respecting the government grows up, and a lot of people abuse their power.
Yeah.
And Fela taught us that, you should respect your father, you should respect the government, but the government also has responsibilities and duties, and if they don't perform, you should call them out. And Fela was really the first person he dedicated his whole music career to do this, to call the powers to account, to speak truth to them. And for this, he paid a great price. Ultimately, his mother was killed because of his, activism.
Yeah. So he had to pay a price for
He
that.
paid a big price. Apart from he was always in jail and out of jail, and things like that. But all the times that he was in jail were all trumped up. I mean, it was just because he was holding the authorities to answer. And African authorities, believe me, if you think the authorities here are stiff, African authorities, the police and everybody, they just...
It's a whole other world.
It's a completely different world.
And you had brought up before, and we had talked about it, but Africa is such a huge continent. It's big. There's a lot of things that are there. It's different cultures. It's different, from the north to the south. Even in the in the west and east, things are different.
Very well. Like some famous person said, Africa is a big country. It's not really a country. Africa is a very big and diverse region of the world.
Yep.
And like you said, from the north to the south, I was from Cape to Cairo, from Dakar to Nairobi, you'll find a whole melange and melting pot inside.
Yeah.
But we have
classes too.
Oh yeah, and classes too. Listen to me, my brother.
From economic classes, man. I mean, it goes from...
My brother, listen to me. There are African millionaires who would put Donald Trump to shame.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm telling you that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
But, so we have, the variety in Africa is inexhaustible. But there are some certain things that bring us together, and that is what we're celebrating. Yeah. Our cultural, one of the things that is very African is inclusiveness. We don't see anybody as a stranger or as an outsider.
Yeah.
And even from the days of colonialism, when the colonialists came, we didn't know their intention. So we welcomed them.
Yeah.
We were very welcoming. Later on we discovered who they were and what their intentions were, and they were not always, and they were never really honorable.
No.
But so one of the things that is very African is inclusiveness, and you're going to see a lot of it in this festival.
Yeah.
I was just reading a Facebook post today by a good friend of mine, Rashan Ahmad, a rap artist who lives in Santa Fe. I'm sure a lot of you don't know that. But he was telling me he is in Paris now on a tour.
Oh, wow.
And he was telling, one of his most profound experiences in Paris was that he went to an African store in Paris, and he was trying to buy some African stuff, and the owner called him to the back where people were, and when he came to the back, he found out that they were inviting him to dinner.
Oh, wow.
And the thing about it is that it's a big bowl, and everybody, about 8 people, were all eating from the same bowl. And that's what I mean by inclusiveness. Like I grew up, I never had my, a place on the table with my own plate. We all eat together. That is one of the biggest, common denominator in Africa.
Yeah.
The Arabic-esque people in the north do it. The Hottentots in South Africa do it, and that's it. We are very inclusive people.
Inclusive. Let's talk about your sponsors, because I know you can't do this by yourself. You got the Jumbo Cafe, is it the Pyramid Cafe?
Pyramid Cafe.
Who represent different types of food, right?
That
of
also,
Africa, but
that also shows you about the inclusion
it's
of
like
Africa.
New Mexican food as opposed to food you get in Chicago,
In Chicago, right.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
also shows, like I said, the inclusiveness. Pyramid Cafe, they are from Tunisia.
Yep.
That's the Mediterranean region.
Yep.
Jumbo is from Kenya, that's in East Africa.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of people that we have supporting us. We've been living on that level for the past 6 years, but this year, fortunately, maybe because of our persistence and because of our visibility, and maybe because some people think that we're doing something worthwhile, the New Mexico Arts Commission is supporting us.
Oh, great.
Yes,
Santa Fe Arts Commission?
Santa Fe Arts Commission, fingers crossed. We have,
Okay, but New Mexico Arts Commission
The
is...
New Mexico Arts Commission is supporting us this year.
Okay.
Santa Fe Arts Commission, like I said, we're going to
keep your fingers crossed.
Keep our fingers crossed.
That's awesome.
Keep our fingers crossed.
Well, that's great.
Yeah. And there are other foundations. I mean, we're beginning to realize ourselves that we're beaten onto quite a big pie, and in order to, get it down, we need more support.
Gotcha.
So we're going to be. There are other foundations and commissions out there that we're going to be approaching. Maybe by next year, we'll actually be bringing an authentic musician, not just an African musician, but a musician who lives and works in Africa, and bring them over here.
Gotcha. Well, that's great. That's good that you guys are on your 6th year, because it shows that there's an interest for it and that you guys have, the passion and there's support for it in the community. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, Joe. I must say that the Santa Fe community is a very embracing and welcoming community.
Yeah.
They have, it's because of them that we are still here after 6 years. If they have accepted us, like I said, when we started this thing, we had no support at all. There was no money.
Yeah.
95% of the artists who came to do the first Fiesta Fela are Santa Feans, and they all played for free. I didn't give anybody 5 cents.
Yeah.
They paid their own transport to come and play.
And their time and all that.
And that's what I'm saying. The time is already taken for granted.
Yeah, that's right.
But sometimes when you go and ask somebody to play for you for pro bono, they say, yeah, but what about our gas money and things like that? These guys didn't ask for gas money. They didn't ask. They just came.
They just wanted to perform.
They just wanted to perform and wanted to celebrate with us.
That's
and
great.
That's why we're here. We're very grateful for that.
That's great. Well, KAMAJOU, thank you so much. Your event, not your event, the community's event, Fiesta Fela 2016 is happening this Saturday.
This Saturday.
October 15th from 10 to 6.
10 to 6.
Entertainment will start right at 10. And to show up, and there'll be food. It's great for the family. Folks, you shouldn't be sitting at home on Saturday wondering what the heck to do, because you go down to, you'll experience Fiesta Fela. It should be a great experience for the family, so you got to make sure to go down there.
Thank you, Joe. And an event that takes place from 10 to 6, I don't expect everybody there to be there for 8 hours.
No.
If you have 2 hours, if you have an hour, if you have 30 minutes, any time you get there, there'll be something interesting to you.
Just go
to
and
see.
try it out.
Right.
Well, thank you so much, KAMAJOU.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I appreciate it, brother.
And I really thank you for having me on.
No problem, man. Anything for an old friend.
All
Definitely.
right. Thank you, Joe.
Folks, that's the end of our show. You've been watching City Hall Live. We hope to see you in 2 weeks, actually. We have the Mayor's Awards coming up next week, so a big event going on for us here at City Hall. But please stay tuned, and folks, have a safe week and have a great weekend. Adios.